I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. It could be seen from 50 miles away on Sunday. The acrid black smoke from the massive fire that destroyed much, if not all, of a huge industrial business complex on Mill Street in Cornwall. The series of connected buildings were home to nearly 24 small businesses. More than 150 firefighters representing about 15 departments worked throughout the day Sunday to try to get the 7-alarm blaze under control. There were no reports of any serious injuries. Cornwall Fire Chief Pat Hines says a variety of adverse conditions were working against them.
We had approximately 20 to 30 mile an hour winds that were blowing from the west, blowing the fire probably in the worst direction it could have for us. So we had that to contend with. The cold weather, which got colder and colder over the evening, made conditions more difficult for the firefighters. We had a water main break in the town that we lost the municipal water system. We had to switch to a drafting system where we were removing water from Moodna Creek to use in the firefighter operations. Temperatures dropped to near 10 degrees last night. We had frozen hoses and issues with apparatus freezing. Anything that was shut down would freeze almost immediately last night, so we had to keep water flowing, and anything we had flowing, if we had to stop to relocate, those hoses were no longer usable. We would have to lay new hose lines, and that operation continued all through the night in order to contain the fire to the original fire structure.
Today, fire personnel continue to have problems related to the water main break in Cornwall, as well as frozen hydrants and water lines that led to a declaration of a state of emergency in Cornwall, as work continued to completely extinguish pockets of fire with water and foam. Chief Hines says those efforts will delay attempts to determine just how the blaze got started.
We do have numerous fire investigators from Orange County and the Office of Fire Prevention Control, a state agency. They're on the scene now. They were on the scene yesterday, and they're gathering information as we speak. They're operating on the scene, collecting their data that they need. They've been unable to access the building so far, any portions of the building, due to the fire conditions, but they'll remain on the scene and assist us in determining a cause.
The Cornwall complex used to house a carpet mill and weaving business before it was divided into smaller business units. Former Cornwall Town Supervisor Kevin Quigley said the building had a history of code violations, including issues with its sprinkler system. Meantime, Sullivan County arson investigators are looking for the cause of a 3-alarm fire Sunday afternoon that destroyed a former boarding house on Old Factory Road in Loch Sheldrake. The 2.5-story building, which was closed for the winter and had no occupants, was fully engulfed in flames when firemen arrived, and frozen hydrants there as well hindered efforts to extinguish the blaze. Investigators converged on a swampy area off Route 17K in the town of Montgomery earlier today, where a hunter had discovered human remains while trapping in that area. State police have confirmed the discovery and expect that when a forensic examination is completed, they will be able to confirm the identity of the person and reach a conclusion on a cause of death. There is speculation the remains could be those of Stephen Crowshore, a 23-year-old Montgomery man who's been missing since last March. At the time, police were told Crowshore had a medical condition that required medication. Past searches for him in that general area had turned up nothing. A candlelight vigil will be held at the Pioneer Fire Hall in Ellenville this evening, marking the 25th anniversary of the disappearance of Joseph Helt, an Ellenville teenager who disappeared after spending a night with friends partying at an old lodge in Craigsmoor back on January 16, 1987. According to his friends, Helt left them to walk back to Ellenville after their car had gotten stuck in a ditch near Sam's Point. Helt was never seen again, and searches turned up nothing. Family members say the vigil is part of their effort to keep his memory alive and to find out what happened. Turned out to be a lot more than just a traffic infraction when Town of Newburgh police pulled a car over for failing to yield the right of way. A check determined the driver, 38-year-old Shane Griffin of Poughkeepsie, had several suspensions on his license, and inside the car was found envelopes of heroin prepared for sale, as well as more than $2,000 in cash and several cell phones. Griffin had been recently released from federal prison after serving time on gun charges. An act of Congress made the federal observance of the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. a national day of service. And today, About 60 volunteers were helping Habitat for Humanity of Greater Newburgh by working at 6 of their current housing rehab sites. Habitat Executive Director Kathy Collins says linking the MLK holiday to a day of community caring provided a good way to celebrate King's life and mission.
I think Dr. King would have loved what Habitat for Humanity does, not only in terms of service, but in the way in which it brings people together and boundaries that often separate us. As we build together, those boundaries come down. And so it's seeing a goal that together, and with working with our partner families and a whole range of different types of volunteers, that people come together. Many of these people didn't know each other when they came today, and there's a lot of variety and diversity working here in our homes.
Some of the volunteer workers were painting and redoing the sidewalk at the Habitat homes at 68 and 72 Benkard Avenue. Those Habitat houses should be ready for home ownership in March. And what happens to Christmas trees after the ornaments come off and they're taken outdoors? Well, if they're lucky, they can take on another life as landscape mulch. That's what happened to the trees brought to the annual Christmas tree recycling party Saturday at Downing Park in the city of Newburgh. The event sponsored by the Newburgh Shade Tree Commission, the Public Works Department, and the Downing Park Planning Commission. Mulch from the trees will be used for landscaping at several city locations. A mix of rain, freezing rain, and snow is expected to arrive in the region by late tonight, and it could cause some problems with the Tuesday morning commute. Rising temperatures will leave us with clouds and light rain during the day Tuesday, with the highs getting up around 45 degrees. Not as mild Wednesday, but it'll be partly sunny with the highs in the mid-30s. Get an edge on the day each morning by reading the Times-Herald Record, and stay in touch with breaking news right here at Record Online. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Banks.